The next morning, he reaches the Silver Rabbit's headquarters. Selma welcomes him and asks him to come inside. She says Orhan looks better than before today. She jokingly asks if he has lifted the burden of leaving the hero's party from his shoulders. Orhan replies with a calm smile, something like that. And this is where Orhan's adventure journey begins. When they finally go inside, the leader of the Night Sky Silver Rabbits clan, Vince Priors, personally welcomes Orhan. Vince says he has already heard a lot about Orhan. Orhan also calmly introduces himself and says it is an honor to meet the leader of such a famous clan. But Vince immediately lightens the atmosphere. He says Orhan doesn't need to be so nervous because he has heard that Orhan has now left the hero's party. So there is no need to waste time on formal talks or understanding each other's intentions. Orhan agrees and gets straight to the point. He says he first wants to hear complete information about this teaching expedition. On this, Vince asks Selma to explain. Everyone sits down, and Selma tells them that their plan is to reach from floor 1 to floor 51 of the Great Dungeon in just 3 days, especially day 1 up to floor 21, day 2 up to floor 36, and so on. Now the scene changes, and we are shown a small scene from the past. Selma tells Vince that Orhan has left the hero's party. Vince says upon hearing this that it is a big loss for them because without Orhan, the hero's party won't remain as strong. Selma agrees and says that Orhan's support magic is what took them to a level they might never have reached. Even though the effects of Orhan's support magic were a bit weaker, his casting speed was amazing, at least 4 times faster than Selma's. Not only that, he also used many original spells, analyzing the situation, predicting the enemy's next move, and giving support at exactly the right timing the skills an enchanter should have, and he had all that talent. Selma says that after his departure, the hero's party will become quite weak, and now the chances of the Silver Rabbits coming back to the top have increased. Vince says he had heard about Orhan during the joint raid, but still, it is hard to believe all this. Selma tells him that enchanters often don't get the credit they deserve, and even though she herself is famous, people consider her higher than necessary, while truly strong people like Orhan don't show off much. Now we return to the present. Orhan understands that there are a total of 10 rookie parties and 5 escorts, including him and Selma. The plan is that the rookie parties will handle the monsters in turns, and if anything unusual happens, the escorts will deal with it. Selma praises his understanding power and asks if there are any more questions. Orhan asks why only 5 escorts. Selma and Vince look at each other. Orhan says that in such an insane schedule, usually many A-rank parties are brought in to reduce risk. After some hesitation, Selma says their goal is to take the rookies to floor 51 and a little extra stress will help them grow. But Orhan understands that this is not the real reason. This mission is very important for them, and there must be some other reason they won't tell him an outsider. So Orhan doesn't ask any more questions and agrees to help. Vince thanks him and tells him that he will get 2 gold pieces in advance and 10 more if the mission is successful. Orhan hesitates a bit and asks if this isn't too much because this is a year's expenses. Selma directly says that they value him that much. Selma says they will meet outside the dungeon tomorrow. Orhan is both surprised and happy, so he decides that he will give his full effort. The next day, he prepares for the expedition with the clan at the entrance of the Great Dungeon. As soon as Selma and Sophia see Orhan, they say good morning. Orhan notices that Sophia's outfit is different from last time. He assumes it is the rookie's uniform and compliments her. Sophia is completely surprised upon hearing this and thanks him. Selma's expression immediately becomes scary when she sees her little sister so happy and shy. Defensively, Selma asks if Orhan knows how to flirt with ladies and if he has any girlfriend. Orhan quickly denies it and says that since there were some female members in the hero's party, he probably has the habit of talking. Hearing this, Selma immediately calms down because everyone lived in the same mansion. Sophia curiously asks where Orhan lives now. Orhan says he is currently staying in a hotel but will soon need to find a place. Hearing this, Selma freaks out again and asks Sophia if she is planning to go to his place. Sophia nervously denies it and says she was just curious. After composing herself, Selma asks Orhan why he's standing so far from the group. Orhan says he's an outsider and the rookies will get scared seeing him. Selma admits everyone is nervous and asks for his help to lighten the atmosphere. She tells Sophia to go to her party and introduces Orhan to the other escorts. Selma assures everyone that Orhan is strong. The members also accept that Orhan must be strong since Selma is praising him so much, there must be something to it. Orhan nervously says not to raise expectations too much. But Selma smiles and says don't be humble, and he introduces himself as a frontline attacker. Now the other members also give their introductions. One is Anthem, a defender. Another is Bernard, also a defender. And last is Kathy, a healer. Orhan notices that he is the only attacker and Selma is the only enchanter. This is a balanced party. But if he hadn't come, someone would have had to double roll. He feels something is off. Selma sees the doubt on his face and remembers her old conversation with Vince where he said he could understand the pain of losing such a strong attacker. So he asks if Orhan isn't an enchanter like him. According to the party's balance, he couldn't make Orhan part of the first group. Vince says he still feels the pain of losing the old S. Selma understands that they are still stuck and can't get back what they lost. That's why Selma asked Orhan for help. But Orhan himself chose to become an attacker. If Orhan can't perform as a frontline attacker, everything won't go according to plan. Selma hides her emotions and tells everyone that they have to work hard for the next 3 days. Then she asks Orhan to meet the rookies. A little later, Selma greets the rookies and gives a speech. She tells them that today they will start heading towards floor 51 of the Great Dungeon. The rookies get worried, but Selma reassures them and says there is no need to be afraid because they have a powerful helper with them. She introduces Orhan and says he has gone up to floor 94 where she herself hasn't gone. Hearing this, the rookies are stunned and Orhan turns completely pale because he hadn't expected this. Selma further says that if they all want to become dungeon explorers, they should know that Orhan was a member of the heroes party and knows the dungeon best. The rookies get excited, but Orhan gets scared, meaning, what is going on? The rookies are fully pumped up. Then Selma tells everyone to rest a bit before going inside. Orhan asks why she was hyping him up so much. Selma says she was just telling the truth. But Orhan fears that this title might become a problem for him. Selma asks him to escort Group 10 because it has the best rookies. Orhan agrees but finds it strange that such an awesome team is being given to him. A little later, he meets his team members and introduces himself. He notices that Sophia is also in the same group and there are only 3 members in total. He thinks that a 3-member rookie party is quite rare and the fewer people the greater the danger. During this, one rookie starts bragging a lot that no one can match him. Orhan thinks that if his attitude remains like this, he will face a lot of problems ahead. After that, Orhan asks everyone to give their own introductions. The first rookie, whose name is Logan Hayward and who is also the leader of Group 10. He is an enchanter and dreams of surpassing Selma in the future. Next, the girl Caroline Engel introduces herself as a defender. Orhan says, isn't her armor too little for a defender? And where is her armor? Caroline says, why is everyone asking her the same thing today? She tells him that she is a defender but doesn't use armor. Orhan understands that she is a dodge type defender, meaning she jumps around to distract the monster's attention. Now Sophia gives her own introduction. She will attack from the back and is a caster. Orhan feels a strange comfort with her. Now the mission starts. And as soon as they enter the dungeon, everyone becomes quiet. Caroline asks Orhan why a guy from the heroes party is on this mission. Meaning, their clan is kind of enemies with his party, right? Orhan reminds her of Selma's words and says he used to be a member, meaning he is not a member now. Caroline is shocked and asks why he left the party. Orhan gets irritated and clearly says that this is his personal matter. Caroline doesn't want to spoil the atmosphere, so she immediately changes the topic and asks if Orhan and Sophia know each other. Orhan asks why she is asking that. On this, Caroline tells him that Sophia had previously said that an amazing guy was coming with them. Hearing this, Sophia gets a bit nervous, but then she admits that the amazing man she was talking about is Orhan. She tells them that Orhan saved her life. He was very strong and had said that he was previously part of the heroes' party. Sophia further says that her sister Selma had also said that if Orhan is with them, they won't need to take any tension at all. Caroline smiles and tells Sophia that then there is no need for her to be so nervous because she has a hero with her. Orhan says nothing. He knows he is no hero, but he also understands that Caroline said this to motivate Sophia. Thinking this, Orhan realizes that perhaps Caroline cares more about others than she appears reckless. A little later, as Orhan expected, some monsters start coming towards them, but Orhan has already placed trap spells while walking. These trap spells activate without any problem, and the monsters are eliminated right there. The special thing about these spells is that the enemy cannot detect them until they activate. So this is the safest and most efficient way to handle monsters coming from behind, without slowing down the party. They don't have much time, and Orhan doesn't want to waste time in useless fights. So he keeps placing trap spells while continuously walking. Sometime later, the group reaches the floor beast. Now Orhan starts observing carefully how the rookies are fighting. Here he confirms that these people will be fine for the rest of the teaching expedition. In the beginning, he thought Logan was just a big arrogant new boy, but as an enchanter, he has real skill. If he performs like this in long battles, he can easily work in some A-rank party, meaning he is truly a genius. Yes, he is still weak in giving orders, which is a necessary skill for an enchanter. But with experience, he will improve. Now Orhan pays attention to Caroline. Her speed is exactly what is expected from a dodge type defender. But there are two big problems. The first problem is that as soon as she sees a monster, she directly runs towards it. As a defender, she should go near the enemy. But seeing her method, Orhan gets scared. The second problem is that she uses only 2 daggers. These weapons are fine for her fighting style, but have a bit less destructive power for this party. Finally, he looks at Sophia. She is not as impressive as the other 2, but she is already much stronger than a normal rookie. She is a bit passive, but as she gets comfortable with the party members, this will change. There is no newbie lack in her. So Orhan himself gets excited to see her grow. A little later, the other escorts and rookies together defeat the floor beast's boss. According to the plan, they now head towards floor 21. Selma tells them to register the floor in their guild card, and today's first day's mission is complete for them. And with this, the first day ends. After coming out of the great dungeon, Selma asks Orhan if he liked being an escort. Orhan says that as Selma said, Group 10 has a lot of potential. But the problem is that they are not yet working like a team. Especially, he is worried about Caroline. Selma laughs a bit nervously and says that Caroline has improved a lot from before. Hearing this, Orhan wonders what she must have been like earlier if this is improvement. Then they say goodbye to each other and agree to meet the next morning. The next morning, Orhan completely breaks down when he reads the newspaper. His eyes directly go to Oliver on the front page. The article is about the heroes' party and says that they now have a new enchanter, meaning the news of Orhan being kicked out of the party has now become public. In anger and pain, Orhan slams the newspaper on the desk and says they have no idea how much this hurts him. He wanted them to at least wait until the teaching expedition was over. He fears that if the rookies read this paper, their view of him might change. Orhan picks up his coat and thinks there is no point thinking about this now. So he leaves the hotel and heads towards the meeting point. But while walking in the city, suddenly a girl calls his name and he immediately stops. He recognizes that voice. Turning back, he sees Luna, a member of the heroes' party. He stands there completely shocked. Luna herself comes to him and says it's been a long time. When Orhan was in the heroes' party, even when the other members were distancing themselves from him, Luna always treated him the same. On the day he was banished, Luna was out for some household work, and he knows that if Luna had been there, things might have been different. He gives a slight smile, feeling that he still has some attachments left with the hero's party. He asks her if she needs something, but then Luna surprises him. She says she wants Orhan to come back to the hero's party because they need his strength. Orhan is not surprised. He knew Luna could say something like this, but he tells her that he doesn't think the rest of the party wants the same, especially after today's article. Luna says she didn't know about any article and she's making this request from her side. Still, she assures Orhan that if he comes back, she will try her best to convince everyone. Hearing this, Orhan is surprised. Luna is really serious. But then his face becomes sad because he knows it is too late now. Orhan says that after the article is published, he cannot go back. And the truth is, he doesn't even want to. Luna sadly apologizes and says she hadn't seen today's paper. Still, she holds his hand and reminds him that they had promised to clear the great dungeon together. This hits Orhan straight in the heart. He jerks his hand away and says that they made that promise together with Oliver, and it was the same Oliver who kicked him out. So that promise will never be fulfilled now. Luna has nothing left to say. Before she can speak anything, Orhan apologizes and leaves without looking back. Luna stands there alone. Deep in his heart, Orhan wanted the three of them to always remain as they were before and fulfill the promise made in childhood. But now there is no way to go back. There is no place for him there now. Now everything is over for him. Meaning, it is too late now.